Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm gonna give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car is gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
Hiring isn't just filling a role. It's about finding people who can drive results. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you match with the right candidates faster. Target candidates by skills, certifications, or location. Join the 3.3 million employers worldwide that use Indeed to connect with quality talent that fits their needs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Do it the right way. With Indeed.
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Let's continue talking some NBA playoffs, specifically the Cleveland Cavaliers. Joining us now, he covers the Cavs for the News Herald. He is Jeff Schudel with us on Jake and Ben. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
We're doing well. Can you, before we get into this playoff series and maybe what's on the line, diagnose this season for us for Cleveland after, a great 60-plus win season last year, disappointing playoff exit, though the Pacers made the finals. How did this season feel in Cleveland?
Well, it felt like all season, it felt like last year was they did not accomplish what they needed to, what they thought they could do. And that's why just near the trade deadline, they made a huge trade, probably the biggest in the NBA, I think you could argue, when they traded Darius Garland to get James Harden from the Clippers with a plan of getting them over the hump, at least to the conference finals.
What do you think of this particular matchup with Detroit? How do the Cavs match up?
I think that they match up well, and even though they lost Tuesday 111-101, they played well in the second half. It was almost like the first half they got blitzed, and they fell behind by 18. They were down by 17 in the third quarter, but they kind of regained their, I don't know, man wouldn't be the right word, but I think they established themselves. Like they took their best shot from the Pistons, and now I think the Cavaliers will win this game tonight. I don't say that as a fan because I cover the team, but I just think that they took the best shot that the Pistons have, and now the Cavaliers will respond.
I want to talk about Donovan Mitchell in a second, but now that you've covered James Harden for half of a season, James has this reputation where I think everybody from the outside, whether it's fans, reporters, kind of have this perspective of James Harden as a mercenary or maybe not a guy who fully buys into the team. Now that you've covered him, do you remember, did you have preconceived notions of who he was? And is there any difference between who he actually is?
Well, that's an interesting question because I did have those preconceived notions when before the trade. And then soon after the trade, when he got here and he fit in so perfectly, I thought that reputation was unfounded. But I will have to say this, that during the playoffs, the first series with Toronto and now this series with the Pistons, I'm getting a little, like wondering exactly what's going on with James Harden because he hogs the ball and he turns it over a lot. I mean, listen to this stat. So the Cavaliers have now played 8 playoff games this season with him, and he has more than twice as many turnovers as three-point baskets. And that's not something you would expect from a player like him.
Talk about Donovan Mitchell and his performance, and we were kind of talking about this series and game one before, and we were talking about how maybe there's some real pressure on Donovan in this series. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I definitely think so. I mean, he was with you guys, I think, 5 years and never made it out of the second round. And now 3 years here with the Cavaliers, not making it out of the second round. And after all 3 years here, I imagine he was the same way in Salt Lake. He would say, it's on me, I didn't do enough. Well, it's got to get past that point. So I think there is pressure on him. And now with James Harden here, I think it sounds odd to say at this point, but it seems to me that they're still sort of like feeling each other out. You need one guy to be the alpha on the floor, especially in the last 5 minutes, last 2 minutes of a game. And I'm not sure which one of those guys, either Mitchell or Harden, is that one. Who's going to take charge? I think that will go far when they establish that. That will go far in how far the Cavaliers go here in the playoffs.
Well, Jeff, let's go back to when the Cavaliers acquired Donovan. What do you think they thought this was going to look like, maybe even at this point? Do you think this is what they imagined? Do you think they thought it would have worked better or Donovan would have been playing a different role? Because in all honesty, he's been an All-NBA team member, I think, every year that he's been in Cleveland. He makes the All-Star every year. He's one of the 5 or 10 leading scorers in the NBA. It's like all the things that you wanted are there, but it still feels like maybe there's something missing.
Well, I think when they acquired him in that trade, which really worked out well for the Cavaliers, it looks at will. I mean, the Jazz still have those draft picks remaining from the trade, but the Cavaliers envisioned Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland working better together than they did. And so that was why it was kind of a surprise in February when they pulled off the trade with the Clippers, because Kobe Altman, the president of basketball operations here, he was determined that it would work with Garland and Mitchell plus the bigs, Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. And it just never clicked. And I think part of the issue is defensively, Garland and Donovan Mitchell are both 6'1", 6'2", and it just did not work. So that's why they made the trade for James Harden. And now, as I said a moment ago, one of those guys has to take charge and be the man in the last couple of minutes. So there is pressure on Donovan Mitchell. He feels it. He wants to win here. He's a good guy. He's a good locker room guy, and he puts out that effort. But they still have to get past the second round.
If they don't, would they consider trading him?
If they don't get past this second round, guys, something's going to happen. They cannot keep running it back and saying, "Oh, we'll get better." And I'm not sure what James Harden is going to do next year. There's an option on his contract, and he'll go where the money is. No doubt about that. But so I think they have to get past the second round. And now that the Celtics are knocked out, they probably have higher sights than the Eastern Conference Finals. But of course, they have to get past the Pistons first, and right now the Knicks are looking pretty good.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Jeff, the problem the Jazz ran into is they ran out of ways to improve the roster with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert together. And they didn't feel like they wanted to break them up, so they just, stripped it down and started all the way over. Is there a situation where do you think that Cavs might feel that way this summer, or do they still feel like there are pathways forward that improve the roster and they're not just slowly getting worse every summer?
Well, they already have the highest payroll in the league, so there's not a lot they can do. Now, there's rumors that they want Giannis. I don't know what that would take. They would have to give up a lot to get him. So if they don't get past the second round, then that's some major decisions to make. This roster would need more than a tweak or two to be better. Because, as I said, now, of course, this is the first playoff with Harden and Donovan Mitchell, but you can't just keep running it back and say, "Oh, we'll get better, because there's contract situations going on with Donovan Mitchell too. So it's going to be a very interesting summer if they don't, especially if they don't beat the Pistons.
Who do you like in the East as somebody who covers a team in that conference with the 4 teams left? Who do you give the advantage to?
Well, I think the conference finals will be the Cavaliers and the Knicks. And I'm not going to write off the Cavaliers at all. I think if they could get there, I think they could win that. They could win the East. But obviously now with Detroit having home court advantage, that's huge. And tonight's game, guys, is huge for both teams, because I think if the Cavaliers win tonight, I think they could win the series in 5 games.
Looking at the conversation, big picture in the NBA, everyone wants to know where LeBron is going, and very frequently Cleveland is brought up as a potential landing spot. I don't know if it makes total sense, but LeBron has shown a real loyalty in his career, going back to Cleveland, winning a title there. Is that something that hangs over the organization? Is that something you think they would welcome back? How is that being looked at?
It would be hard to turn down LeBron James, right? He's 41 and he's playing like he's 31 or 25 or whatever. I'm not sure how that would work financially, but I'll tell you what, if you had him on this team now, I think they'd go to Eastern Conference Finals for sure. But again, you have to change things a lot, right, when you bring a player like LeBron James. And you're not talking about Dennis Schroeder, to throw a name out, who they acquired from the Kings at the trade deadline also. You get LeBron James in here, you have to change a lot of things around.
What's LeBron's legacy like in Cleveland nowadays?
Well, you know what? I mean, he did come back and won the championship, and he's cheered when the Lakers come in. Of course, it's only once a year that people get to see him, so he is revered here because he did bring the only championship in the Cavaliers' history. He won that for the fans, and they will never forget that. And if he does come back to end his career here, I mean, his jersey is going up on the rafters at some point. He can't really retire as a number when he's playing. I guess he could, but he'll be revered here, even if he does not finish his career here.
Well, Jeff, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much for jumping on with us. And, hey, don't be surprised if we bug you if the Cavs do move on and have you back on.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, my pleasure. I'll see you later, guys.
Thanks, Jeff. That's Jeff Schudel of the News Herald.
The conversation he is having about Donovan Mitchell, almost verbatim, feels like the conversation everyone in Utah was having after the Jazz moved on from him, or in that final year.
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day for sure. I mean, it's the same stuff. I even mentioned how in his years with the Jazz, he couldn't get out of the second round, and now it's repeating itself. I loved it that you were leading him down the direction of James Harden is a better player / has a better rep than he thought going in, and it was the exact opposite, which was so funny to me, where he said, yeah, I had a conception of him, then he came in, and it was like, wow, this guy hogs the ball and turns it over all the time.
Yeah, James is funny. He doesn't have enemies in the places he leaves. I don't think OKC hates him. I don't think And the teams generally don't explode and get way better when he's gone, a la, Kevin Durant gets traded and the Suns make the playoffs this year. It doesn't seem like anyone likes KD after he leaves town. James Harden doesn't quite do that. I know he kind of wore out his welcome with
Houston and Brooklyn and Philly and LA.
Well, he wears out his welcome, but I don't think they're ever like, wow, we hate that guy. Maybe a little bit Daryl Morey did, and even then they seem to be able to get back together, and obviously the Brooklyn thing didn't work out.
I would guess Rockets fans don't like him much. He fatted his way out of town.
He did, and even then I think they would welcome him back.
I don't know.
As a point guard, if they wanted to bring him back, I could see it happening. So I was curious if there is something about those types of guys that when you see them up close, you have a different opinion of them. I think I thought Jordan Clarkson was one thing when he was in LA and Cleveland, and then saw a little bit of a different personality in the locker room and how he blends with everybody and how everyone liked him. That surprised me. And so, I was curious if James does that. And you're exactly right. He said, no, not really. He's turns the ball over a lot and doesn't make shots in the playoffs, which has always been his reputation. And
he said hog the ball.
Yeah, he did. And then he said he's going to go wherever the money is this offseason.
Didn't they re-sign him in Cleveland?
No, not yet.
I thought that was part of the deal.
That's what he wanted. That's why he left L.A. He wanted to get a contract extension, and they said, no, thank you. And he said, all right, well, then send me somewhere. And I don't think the Cavs gave him an extension yet. He's still got this player option.
Which he'll pick up.
I don't know. If someone wants to give him $30 million a year for 3 years.
There's no way someone wants to give him 3 years and $30 million. He's barely contributing. He's out of shape. He has all those flaws that you were talking about. Never really proven it in the playoffs.
Let's see. What did he average this year? James Harden this year averaged 23.5 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 44% from the floor, 38% from three, and 88% from the free throw line. Yeah, someone's going to give him money. It better be the Cavs. I don't think he's going to be stuck picking up this player option.
A team in the playoffs traded him mid-season.
Mm-hmm. And because they were tired of him. But look, NBA teams do crazy things. And I don't think James cares if he has to go play in Sacramento. I think James cares more about money than winning. So if his best option is, I'll go sign a 3-year, $90 million deal somewhere else.
Hog the ball and turn it over for somebody else.
Great. Yeah, $42 million with the Cavs, cool, but we're not getting a title. James is smart. You don't have to love James Harden. He can diagnose what's going on. He can read the writing on the wall. He knows this Cavaliers team's never going to win a championship. He knows they're not particularly close. This team has a very real ceiling, and it's not a title. So what does he care? He's made his whole life off of not winning titles, and that's not even knocking him. But he knows his days of being an MVP or the best player on a championship team or a potential championship team, A, never materialized, and B, are behind him. So go to Chicago this summer and make $90 million. Great. And I could very, very seriously see that.
Man, I couldn't see. I think team basketball is coming back.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think individual selfish play is on its way out. I couldn't see a smart. You're not saying smart team, so I guess but a team.
Bulls, Kings.
He does not.
I would have said the Wizards, but they just traded for Trae Young and Anthony Davis.
Who also doesn't. Trae Young doesn't play winning basketball. That's the thing is James Harden has gone nowhere playing his game. I got to play my game. Well, your game stinks.
Yeah.
Your game doesn't win.
Yep.
And I honestly don't know why even teams with poor judgment don't get that at this point.
But would Orlando trade him?
Trade for him? No.
I think they would. They're a dumb team.
I don't think so. I don't think a youngish team would bring in a geezer like him to begin with. It doesn't really fit into the window. Plus, every time he dribbles the ball, Paolo Banchero isn't.
Yeah. Teams
who
get
also
desperate.
is
Teams
kind of a selfish player who loves to hog the ball.
Right. There
and
are
turn it over.
Flawed teams that get desperate, and desperate decisions, desperation, if you have said, is a stinky cologne. And James Harden is happy to wear it because he takes advantage of those teams. He always has. Philly needed somebody. Brooklyn needed somebody. They wanted to get rid of Ben Simmons, or they wanted whatever trades they needed to make. And James always seems to find himself in those situations.
And none of those deals have worked out.
Correct.
None of them.
Yeah, I'm not advocating any of these teams should trade
to make that mistake.
But yes, why do teams keep going out and getting Kevin Durant? When has that worked out last? Golden State 8 years ago, and every stop since then's been a disaster.
Might have been longer than that ago.
Yeah, but the Nets couldn't wait to get him. gave him a year on a torn Achilles. Now, I get he wasn't quite this type of Kevin Durant at that point, but the Nets traded for him, and then the Suns gave up a huge haul for him, and then the Rockets gave up a huge haul for him. NBA teams get desperate, and they look for guys who have proven track records of putting butts in the seats and scoring points. James Harden will get that again, and it's probably going to be Cleveland. And honestly, that just caps their ceiling even further, but someone is going to buy into James Harden, and I don't think he's going into next year on a player option to become a true unrestricted free agent the year after that.
So thanks to Jeff Schudel for jumping on with us, covers the Cavs for the News Herald. And Ben, that game, God, this computer is dragging. What time? That's the early game. Tips off at 5 o'clock. Both games tonight are on Prime Video. So Cavs-Pistons game 2, followed by at 7:30 the Lakers and the Thunder game 2.
Jeff was very optimistic that the Cavs were going to win this game tonight.
He was. I don't think it's a good matchup. I don't know. Maybe they win tonight, but I don't think the Pistons are a good matchup for him, period.
Yeah, I
for
totally
them,
agree.
not him, like Jeff's playing.
Pistons are only a 3.5-point favorite, so it's the Vegas, what do you call them?
The Magic Vegas predicting
wizard has him at 3.5 for Detroit. I kind of think Detroit's going to win this. I think Detroit settles in and figures things out. I don't know if the Cavs figure a lot out historically.
I just hope Jalen Duren dunks one and then points at the camera and said, "That was on you, Angel Reese."
For you, Angel.
How dare you?
Jeez.
Send out videos on your Snap Talk of me getting dunked on by Wendell Carter. I'm sure they were in love. Probably just didn't go well at the end.
Happens.
It does. All right, stay tuned. We'll have more Jake and Ben. Don't forget, Andre Torney, the Bear, is going to join us at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. It's the Jake and Ben Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
No, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.